Yeah.
It's
this is our 100th episode.
That's amazing.
It is amazing.
I cannot believe.
Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers.
Did you hear the little ding? I was like, ding.
It was perfect. I can't believe it. 100 episodes. Oh, that's going to sound lovely.
Yeah.
That little slurp. You like that? We've had so many amazing people on.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we can't sit here and talk about each one. Like 100 episodes, that's crazy, right?
Yeah.
But I think what we could do is I really wanted to go over like the top 10, like awesome tips that we got, boss bites that we got.
Yeah, no, there's so many that we could sit here all day and talk about them. But we did pick our top few
Individually. So,
right.
And
so
I don't know what you picked. So this should be fun
yes.
to see. Yeah.
So who's going first?
Oh, and I didn't.
Did you rank them?
I kind of ranked them. I started ranking them and then I kind of got all out of order because I started like thinking of different ones.
Right.
But I can tell you number 10, going from 10 to 1, top 10, number 1 being like
the best.
Number 10 for me was when we chatted about emotional intelligence.
Mm-hmm. That's funny because I almost put that one down.
And that didn't make your list at all.
It didn't make my list, but I thought about it because I reflected on that one. And that was one of the ones I was a little uncomfortable talking about at first because I didn't know a whole lot about the topic. So I remember like getting a lot out of that episode. So I actually thought about putting it on my top 10 because of that reason. Like, I feel like I got a lot out of it and I learned a lot about emotional intelligence from that episode.
Right. Yeah. I really feel like that's a good baseline, right? Emotional intelligence to any tip on top of that. That's just a really good base to start with.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my number 10.
Okay. That was a good one.
What was yours?
So I didn't put 10 because I grouped a lot of them in certain areas. So one thing that I noticed from pretty much most of my top 10 is that almost all the ones that I put down were ones that were in person for sure. Like I liked being in person with the guest.
Yeah.
And I liked being at their location or at a different location.
Right.
So
there was a lot of energy at a lot of those on site, and
because then you get to feel their energy because they're in their comfort zone. So I really like that. So I noticed like my trend in whenever I was thinking in my top 10 was like most of these were ones where we were out in a different location. So for example, the Imperium Data one where we talked to Brian and Lindsay.
That was great.
That was great. And just a lot of good energy there. Workscapes, I thought was great because that office is beautiful. And just that conversation was awesome. Whenever we interviewed Kevin O'Brien at the George Zwerko's place, that was a cool vibe too. It was totally different setup. They had a great podcast setup, great recording studio. So it's like all of those, I found myself like, it was hard for me to decide like which one was my favorite out of all the location spots because like I love them all.
Yeah. George Zokos, he has like a great podcast. Well, it's not even a podcast, right? It's like just recording in general. You can go there and record.
Yeah.
That was an Ebor.
Yeah. Cause they're a marketing company. So they have a great setup for that stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that as my like 10 ish ranking.
I love how you grouped yours together. We're like, okay, top 10. And then we go just different.
Here's my top 15. And I like grouped them all into one.
We're going to like listen to the rules and then kind of go outside. That's what we do.
All right. So what was your next one?
All right. I'd say my next one was, I know. Well, the episode where we talked to Dr. Abby Hamilton, she is so sweet. And she is now found her voice and in her element. And in that episode, she taught us how to find our voices and how to speak up and how to kind of stand your ground's kind of like, that's more of like, not what I wanted to say, but just really saying what you mean, but it without the like emotion, like no negative or
Right.
emotion
You're
behind it.
speaking
Just
up.
speaking up. And if you have something to say it.
Mhm.
And try to use words to describe it. And she was the one who taught us, when you're trying to describe yourself, like when you're in an interview and you say, oh yeah, I'm really organized. She was the one who really articulated and like colored around that and said, okay, yes, you're organized, but tell a story on how.
Right. I
And
like
then,
the tell a story piece.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that was really, and she actually told a story where I could really picture this person in the purse shop, and she organized the back by not only how the different bags were shaped, but by color and organization, and how she put the purses out too, so you could see it all. And then the store actually like used their organization tool for the
Right.
next time.
Yeah. And still use it.
So that was kind of like my next tip that I thought was really good and informative and important to like rehash.
And that was a good one. My next one, I would have to say, I loved the episode with Erica Dewan whenever we were at the women's conference live. Again, that was a live event, so it had that energy. She had just gotten off of stage and a book signing. So I think her energy was just
Through the
so,
roof.
yeah. And you
Yes.
really could feel it. And I loved the message that she was talking about, being digitally connected, how to respond, and, reading through her book too, just getting so much out of that. I feel like it's an episode we could have probably talked, a whole nother hour on, because there's so much, especially in today's day and age, great information from that conversation, that I wish we had more time to talk to her about that. But I felt like that had a lot of great information in there.
I can't believe I didn't put that on my list, because you're right. I'm like listening to you, like, I'm like, yeah, you're right. And I think she had to like catch a plane, so we couldn't keep her long to chat about it more. But she did move down.
Right. She's officially here
in St. Pete now.
So we need to get together with her again.
We need to
Okay,
get together with
Erica.
her.
Yeah. So what's next on your list?
Okay. So for me, I felt like vision boards were important. We talked a lot about that in a couple of different episodes.
Yeah.
Like one at the very beginning of the year, when we were like, okay, how do you prep for your year and get everything situated and scheduled out so you can stay on track? And then we had a specific vision board conversation. So for me, and what we've been doing better as a company, we've all been meeting quarterly to talk to like out loud to many people about our vision boards and what's on it. And did we
actually do
I was
them
gonna say
or
earn.
implement?
Yeah, like do them. Did we accomplish anything? Did we
Accomplish.
still have things to do? Did we add anything? So I felt like that was
right. I
really
feel like
huge.
we've been really good at holding each other accountable, like having those quarterly meetings and going over the vision board. Like it's not just a once a year thing. It's an like everyday thing that you need to be cognizant of and pay attention to.
Yeah.
And we talked a lot about that early on with Lauren McComb.
Yes.
She came and she even talked about different kinds of vision boards, family vision boards.
I love that.
And then couples, and like putting it on your nightstand, like just so many different ways you can incorporate the vision boards in your day-to-day life with your family or your partner or whoever at work.
I do appreciate the quarterly meetings about it, because it really holds you accountable. Because like a couple days before that meeting, it makes me look at my board and go, shoot, I haven't done anything for this one yet. Or maybe I'm like, oh, I'm almost done with this one, and it gets me kind of going again on it. So you're right. It holds you really accountable.
And I think you can add stuff to your vision board. I've actually, before our last meeting, I added a couple things to it because like, it's not a static thing. It's a live, like living and breathing vision board. So yeah, I think you can add stuff too. But yes, that's a good one. And that was in multiple episodes.
Was that in yours? Was that in your list?
No, it was not.
Oh, no. Okay. What was in yours?
Okay. So another one of my, not favorites, but that I feel like was very informative. They all were, but if we had to be
really
selective,
this was really hard, by the way, because I feel like we had value in every single conversation.
I mean, I think we do. Yeah.
We're biased, maybe.
We're a little partial. One of the early episodes, we had Dan Rodriguez on, and we talked about ghosting. Yeah. That was a fun one.
That was so fun.
Right? Because this was back like one of our first 5 episodes that we've ever done, I believe, with the podcast. Yeah. And it was just a fun episode. I feel like we talked a lot about like how to approach the subject of ghosting because it happens to all of us, what to do, how to respond, and how not to be the ghost. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
You don't want to, because it's not done intentionally all the time.
I don't think it's done intentionally.
No. So you don't want to do that to other people as well.
Right. There's so many times where I hear people are like, I read your text and I thought of what to say. And then you get distracted or pulled away and then you never respond.
Right. And then you're ghosting.
Then you're the one who was
the
ghost.
Right.
Yeah. However.
So I did have that down in my top.
I like that. That was a fun one.
So far, have we had anything?
No, none
that overlapped.
I'm surprised because lately in our episodes, we've actually had different points of view, slightly. Not like we're like on complete opposite ends, but it's been really interesting. I love this. This is so fun. I'm glad we didn't like talk about our top 10.
I know, me too.
I really, really liked our episode that talked about counter offers and resignations, but mostly like the counter offer part, I think is really important tip.
Right.
We probably talked about it a long time ago, but this recent episode is like top of mind because I don't think many people know how it's perceived when you accept a counter offer and it sounds like it's good and it feels like it would be positive, but it's not. You need to know the backstory and what's going on behind it. So I felt like that was an important tip to bring up. And
yeah, I actually was going to put that down, but I didn't because I felt like that was a really good episode with information because we've been seeing it a lot lately with people accepting counter offers and resignations, like how to do it. And I feel like because of so many questions that we get, it was great to address that topic and bring up those things that you just said, like why it's important not to accept a counteroffer and how to go through that situation properly and in the right way.
Right. Because it's so deceiving when you get a counteroffer and your company is like, no, I'll pay you more. And you're like, wow, they really love me. No, they're just trying to keep you for now to fill the hole. And then they're going to replace you. Really.
Right. No, that was a good one. Another one that I had down here was one of our more recent episodes with Kathy Wood. I really liked that one because, being in the Tampa Bay area and really being strong supporters of entrepreneurs and startups, and really bringing like a rich tech community to Tampa Bay.
Bringing tech back. That's what I heard when you were saying that.
And just Kathy with her recent move here. Again, it's exciting to see all these people moving here.
It is.
But bringing her company down here and employees and just hearing why she did it and what these, business owners and CEOs are looking for whenever they're like trying to find their headquarters and what do they look for in that that culture, or that, there's a lot of
Vibe
things.
of the city.
Exactly. There's so many things.
Right.
So just hearing her take on that, why she brought it to Tampa, kind of her story too and background, I thought was so interesting. But I had that one down here, and that was in person again. I loved it at the TBT Tech Fest.
Right.
So
she was so humble. It is humble and just fascinating to talk with, because she is constantly on shows or the news for investment and business. It's fascinating.
No, so I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, I like her. That was really good. So one of the, and I'm getting down to like my top one. But one of the ones that I had on the list was our episode that we did together. We made it like, we dubbed Tuesday Transformational Tuesday, and we were talking about what not to do, because we're like flooding your brain with all this stuff on what to do, and it can be really hectic. And I just loved our conversation, and we had such great points. I was like, yes, don't do that, do this. So a couple of them, and one that I brought to the table that was like really passionate to me, that I've like experienced my whole entire life and just finally realizing, was don't allow others to have the answers for you. And just hearing it again was like, yes, I'm so glad I shared that with everyone, because I'm sure there's some people out there who do the same thing. You go to work and you expect your boss to have your next job lined up for you, or know what kind of role you're supposed to go into next, or how to level up. But you need to look inside yourself, or meditate, or think to yourself, what do you want to do? You need those answers.
Right. That's I love that, because I follow Mel Robbins on social media, and she had a recent post that was like, no one is going to do it for you. No one is going to speak up for you. No one is going to take that next step for you. No one is going to ask for that raise, ask for that next job offer, resign. Like, no, that's all you. So like, you doing that and speaking up, like, you are responsible for your own life and your own destiny.
Yeah.
So like, take responsibility. So I love that.
She was amazing.
She was
speaker
amazing
in person, wasn't she? We saw her at the Women's Conference of Florida, and she was so powerful. It was amazing to see her in person.
Yeah, she's great.
How about you?
Okay. So another one, this was just a fun and like interesting one, was the Accenture Metaverse one. Just because my mind was kind of blown on how the metaverse is, so, being used in today's workplaces, and how like kind of blew my mind on where it is going and the extent it's already at. Like everyday work, like they operate in the metaverse. And I was just like, whoa, like this is so interesting. I wanted to like just sit there and like talk more about it. And, I thought that one was just like one that I was just like really geeked out over.
Totally. You could tell we were really trying to fully understand it, because like, I wonder if they're at their desk and they put the Oculus on. Like, is that how it is?
Totally. That's how I picture it.
How cool is that? That is really cool.
So that was just.
Is that the top one?
Nope.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Mine are actually in no particular order, really.
All right. Yeah, no, they're all like really good. Well, another one that we mentioned, it's kind of goes hand in hand with the one that I just said before, the metaverse one you shared, was don't stop once you hit one of your goals. I just think that that's always important to kind of remember, because I feel like sometimes we can get caught up in day-to-day mundane things that maybe like could drag you down or bring you up or whatever, and get you distracted from your goals. And, you shouldn't just have one goal. You should have many goals. Within that episode too, we even talked about how I try not to say, to children, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up? Because you could be many things, not just one thing. It's so limiting.
Mm-hmm.
So I just thought, just don't stop at one goal. Once you hit one goal, move to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just a good reminder.
Right. I feel like yours are very deep. I did
I'm so weird. I feel like I get like really deep really quick. And then I'm like, I don't know. I don't get it. I'm just.
No, I like it. And I agree with everything you say. Whenever I was writing mine, I was like, which ones like did I have not the most fun with, but the ones that I was like, oh, like this was fun because right.
I totally get it.
I also wrote down the episode with Tony D.
Yes.
Tony DiBenedetto.
He has a great story.
He has a great story, and he was our very first guest on.
Yeah.
So just the story on how he got to where he is, how to overcome a lot to get to where he is today. And I liked how at the end we kept it light and we just did fun questions.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We used to do that, like the rapid fire.
I know, and I want to do that again.
Okay.
So we need to start doing that again. Like unrelated questions.
like completely off the cusp. Yes. Like so random.
Right. Like I think we asked him about social media.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Like we were like, what does like LOL mean or something like that? It was like some acronym.
So funny. He answered some of them right, but I think he answered some of them wrong too.
Oh, he definitely did. And then sorry, well, I just already went.
No, your turn. Go. I don't really, you know what? I don't really have too many more, really. I have like my top one, which isn't really a tip at all.
Okay. Well, I'll go. This isn't like a one particular episode, but this is more of over the past 100 episodes recording with you, all the bloopers that we've had.
Yes.
Like we sit in here and laugh our asses off and just have so much fun. Yeah. And to me, those are some of the like my favorite moments of just recording and doing the podcast. It's just the off the record things that we say and do that are just fun and funny,
That was actually, I have random laughing that I wrote down first because I don't know how we caught it, but we did. I think we were like recording an intro and we could not get it together. And like literally all we could do is laugh, and we posted that because it's just like, great. Like, don't take yourself seriously.
Right.
Not too seriously anyway,
There's multiple times where we had the last laughing episode where we couldn't even talk. It was like for 10 minutes. I think we were in here
really was
dying. And then there was another episode, don't take yourself too seriously, or it's okay to laugh at yourself, or we were doing the same thing.
We literally did the same thing. Yeah.
And there's so many like behind the scenes thing like that just make me laugh and that make me love doing this podcast with you.
Yes. Same. Okay. That was like one thing that we both had on the list.
Wow. Out of all those, we had one. Okay. What was your top thing?
The laughing.
That was your top?
Don't take yourself too seriously.
So I did write down my number one favorite episode was the story of Steph and Ash.
Aw.
Love that. It was our very first episode. And I wrote Ash's story and she wrote my story, and we had no idea what each other was going to say.
Yeah.
And we didn't even like know if the facts were 100% correct. Well, we thought they were. Yeah. And I think we did a really good job. Good. Yeah. But we had to do our research, and that was the podcast. We were introducing each other, and we, had to introduce the opposite.
Because we were like, wait a minute, why are these people going to listen to us about resumes and interviewing? Who are we? We got to tell you.
Right. Why we created the podcast in the first place.
About this stuff anyway.
Right. So that one was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
For me. So I think.
Oh, that was a good one. I like that one. Yeah.
They were all so great though. Like I have so many great memories over the past 2 years.
I know.
So many great people that we've met. So many great guests that we've had on. I could literally talk forever about
seriously
all the lessons I've learned, all the great things I've gotten out of this podcast.
Right.
That I hope we continue to, share stories and successes and failures and
absolutely.
help people.
There are literally, as we're talking about it, there's probably a handful more that I'm thinking of that I'm like, oh, this is a really good one. This is a really good one. But I think the important thing to know is that we're always trying to better ourselves. And even if it's failing, just learn from that failure and just keep going and enjoy the journey. Right. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited for like the upcoming guests that we have on too, because we have a few scheduled and they're really awesome people that have accomplished
a lot,
so many things.
Right.
So
with, I wanted to ask you, with the upcoming, for the next 100 episodes, what do you want to accomplish, or where do you want to see Live Bold and Boss Up going?
And we're recording, so like that makes it even more accountable, right? Like I really want to have Ron DeSantis on. How cool would that be to have someone who's like taking care of our state, taking care of the people on?
Yeah. I think he would be a kind of that guest that would be the ultimate, like we'd love to have him on. Absolutely. Even Casey DeSantis.
Oh my goodness. We would love to have Casey on.
Yeah. They're such great public figures.
Right.
And even I was thinking too, our mayor.
Oh my gosh.
Jane Castor, would love her too.
Yes.
Any, representative of our state, our county, I would love, to have them on, because I think they're great examples.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What about Mel Robbins would be another one.
Oh my gosh, Mel. Yeah.
Mel
Let's
would be
do it. Let's have Mel on too.
A big one. And then one that I was thinking of too, Sarah Blakely.
Absolutely.
Like at the top of my list, because she's a Tampa Bay native, billionaire mom.
Yes.
She's amazing.
Yeah, that would be great. We could like come into the studio in Spanx too.
Yeah, I'd wear Spanx if we get Sarah on.
Okay, we'll get Sarah on and we'll be head to toe in Spanx.
Perfect. And I think they pretty much make everything from head to toe now.
Okay, good. We'll be we're gonna is our face gonna be covered?
I'm sure maybe they'll have like
they have a cap?
Maybe.
Swim cap.
Anyone else that you want to like stretch goals, or not even people, but goals for the episode or the podcast?
Gosh, all those people are amazing. There's a million more people that I would love to have on too. And I think we just need to keep learning and growing, because that never stops, setting goals and everything. And I think it would be wonderful to just maybe even have on some movie stars. Yeah. Because their stories are amazing. I mean, look at Matthew McConaughey. He's got amazing story with Green Lights that we talked about in one of our episodes. We did. Too.
There's a lot. Yeah. There's a lot of excellent people, nationally and locally here that we could have on. That would be great.
Yeah.
So if you know anyone and you want to recommend them, or, you want to be on the podcast, let us know. We're looking for a great upcoming next 100 episodes, 200 episodes.
Oh my gosh. That'd be great.
This has been so fun, and we couldn't do it without your support and all the love.
bosssup@gmail.com. Just in case you didn't know. Now you know. If you don't know,
now you know. All right. So
happy 100th episode. Yay! Until next time, guys, always live bold and boss up.